On The Blend this morning, we're joined by Maverick Nichols, who is the facility manager for Orthopaedic Rehab Specialist Physical Therapy. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I know that working at Orthopaedic Rehab Specialists, you work with a lot of athletes. So I'm curious, what are some of those ways that you work with athletes? What do you do?
Yeah, we do. We see a lot of different athletes. The one nice thing about it is we will see athletes from all ages. We do see young athletes that might get injured in the sport they're playing, whether it be a recreational sport, a high school, middle school sport, all the way through our adult recreational athletes that might be getting injured on weekend warrior type stuff with those tough mudder runs and things like that.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to the athletes, we see a variety of not only ages, but again, the variety of involvement of that injury. So smaller injuries that might be a weekend thing that take a couple weeks to recover, all the way through those post-surgical type situations. So with each athlete, we're going to develop during an evaluation, find the deficits they have, really get into what caused that injury, develop a program that's going to help them get back to their specific sport and regain that strength, range of motion. So we try to individualize it a lot to the person, the injury, and also the sport that they need to get back to play. So like I said, we want to look at the whole body and what might have led to that injury, not just that specific incident. So
Now, one of the hot new sports is pickleball, of course. It has been for a few years. But there's a lot of talk, too. And I thought, pickleball, I feel like I might hurt myself doing that. Because I tend to do that. So talk more about pickleball. Are you seeing a lot of those injuries?
We are. As you mentioned, it's been a craze lately, and it's awesome to see the growth. And again, kind of like we talked about, it's kind of thought of as an older adult athlete sport, but we're really seeing kids of all ages to play, which is really cool. So, but obviously with that comes injury like any other sport. So we are seeing shoulder-related injuries, upper extremity injuries because of the repetitiveness of the swinging. We are still seeing some lower body injuries, hips, knees, things from planting and cutting. So it does kind of come back to it again. We're going to develop an evaluation based on that specific injury and treat that injury. But one other big part of that has become a proper warm-up, and that's been a big thing for athletes. We know as we get older, we aren't always as loose as we used to be with our mobility and things.
How did that happen?
I know. So it takes a little bit more of a proper warm-up. So we really want to develop that for the athletes too, and make sure that they're going through the proper things before they play to minimize that risk of injury too. So
You've talked about types of injuries. I wonder if there's a common type that you typically see.
I wouldn't say common because, again, we treat all variety of injuries, so we'll see things all the way from the foot and ankle all the way through the shoulder. So it's a large variety.
All right, well, thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me.